Hey, good morning and happy Friday. Yay! We finally made it through the work week. And let me tell you, it has been a struggle for me personally. We'll get to that in a minute. But good morning. I'm Crystal Moyer in for Bridgett. She is off. Welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett. We're going to do a little bit of a rundown of some of the big stories, maybe some of the talkers going on throughout Central Florida. We've got a lot to talk about today because it is an inconvenient weather day. So good news, it's Friday. Bad news, if you're watching this right now and you live in Florida, it's probably raining. So we'll get to meteorologist Michelle Morgan in just a moment, and then we're going to check in with Trooper Steve with some traffic. We also have some word about some new town halls going on, and this is in Orange County because the Orange County mayor is once again trying to get a penny sales tax approved to help with some transportation issues. So we're going to touch a little bit on that. And Daytona Beach, soon you'll be noticing some new cameras. They've been working to get some cameras installed to help with safety. So News 6's Molly Reed is going to run us through that. And then, of course, we have Corey Murray on the show. He's our photojournalist and host of Blackman Sundays to talk a little bit about wealth management. He has a really interesting guest that he will be previewing for Sunday's show. And then, of course, the big story today, those Stetson Hatters from DeLand. They are at the big dance. They will have their first round game today versus UConn. We're talking about the NCAA tournament, so we're really rooting for them. We're going to touch on that and a bracket buster. I was watching last night, the first round game. So if you didn't get that last night, we're going to touch on that in just a moment. But first, let's go ahead and bring in meteorologist Michelle Morgan to talk about our inconvenient weather day. And, we had a little chat this morning because you were feeling some type of way when I was talking about how I woke up this morning. Last night I was on E, okay? But I was going to go home after work. I said, I'll wake up later. I'll go ahead and pump my gas. I didn't. So I woke up this morning in a rush, and of course, I'm on E. So I was out in the pouring rain at the gas station. And what did you say? What did you say during the morning show, Michelle?
I said it sounds like a personal problem, and I apologize for that because I put two and two together. I'm like, why am I so sassy this morning? I didn't have breakfast, so please excuse my behavior.
Girl, do you? It is okay. I am not offended. It is a me problem. I should have pumped my gas yesterday, filled that tank.
But I'm sure you're not the only one that ran into that issue this morning. You're like, oh, I'll have a little bit of time tomorrow. But then the rain moves in, you're like, oh, here it is.
Inconvenient weather day for us.
Yes, an inconvenient weather day for many across Central Florida. We've been talking about this for the past couple of days, and the first round is here. As we take a look at the live radar scan, you could see here scanning the skies, very active. I am tracking light to moderate rain for a majority of the area this morning, but I am seeing pockets of heavy rain. That's when you see the yellows, the oranges, and the red beginning to pop up. That indicates where the heavy rain is located. Now, thankfully, I'm not seeing any lightning strikes, meaning no thunderstorms are in the area. The instability is really not there. We are looking at a warm front that is initiating all of this rain this morning. So as we zoom things in here, you can see pockets of heavy rain near Umatilla, light showers over Eustis as well as Mount Dora, stretching to DeLand along the I-4 corridor, and looking at light showers along our coastline. So that includes New Smyrna Beach, Daytona Beach, Port Orange. As we head to Conway, Orlando, looking much better. I was tracking heavy rain about an hour ago, but things are looking much lighter. And as we head to Osceola County as well as Brevard County this morning, light showers in Palm Bay as well as Melbourne, Satellite Beach, Port St. John. A light break from the light showers in Titusville, but it will ramp up in about 20 minutes or so. Whatever you've got going on today, you want to make sure you have that rain gear nearby. You will certainly need it. So as we take a look at the temperatures here, the temperatures are starting off in the 60s. That includes Orlando, Winter Haven, Kissimmee, Ocala. As we head to our coast, a little bit milder. I'm talking about Titusville, Cocoa Beach. You all are starting off in the lower 70s right now. Now, because of the rain today, it is going to keep our temperatures below average. Many of us only getting up into the lower to middle 70s today, but the better news is that with the heavy rain, and you know what, this is beneficial rain. We need the rain. It's been so dry for the month of March, meaning we are below average, about 1.5 inches below average for the month. And the pollen has been unbearable. I know many of us see it on our car, that green and yellow stuff. Now, because of the rain, it is going to keep the pollen levels low. And also, our gardens need the rain, so that's going to help out too, save a little bit of water there. But there's a look at your hour by hour forecast. A 90% as we go through the morning. Thankfully, we'll see a break closer to noon. We may even see a little bit of sunshine before the second round of rain moves in. And here's a look at your daytime highs. 75 in Orlando, 73 in Mount Dora, Pearson, the Villages, 75 in Cocoa Beach, and 75 degrees in Melbourne. So timing, so important. So you can time out your day. So we're looking at light to moderate rain continuing through the morning hours. Closer to noon, around 1 o'clock, we'll see that break. Staying cloudy, we may even see a few breaks in the clouds. There goes our warm front, continuing to increase the moisture and the rain chances, calling for a 100% coverage, meaning everybody in the viewing area will see rain at some point as we go through your afternoon. You may even run into a wet commute. So that's going to continue to the 5, 6, even 7 o'clock hour into tonight. Now, our northern zones, I'm talking about Marion County, Flagler County, and also Volusia County, looking much drier right now, but we're looking south of the I-4 corridor, looking at light to moderate rain continuing into tonight before things begin to dry out during the overnight hours. Now we're not finished with the rain yet. We're looking at a cold front moving in. This will be tomorrow morning. That is going to initiate a few isolated showers across the area, really hit or miss. But then behind that frontal boundary, we're looking at scattered rain, and we may see a few thunderstorms get going. I am calling for a 40% coverage for that. And we may see an isolated thunderstorm or two get strong, producing heavy rain and also strong gusty winds. Now, in terms of rainfall, a good soaking rain for many of us here. Again, as I mentioned, it's beneficial. We need it. Some spots could get up to 2 inches of rain. That's in southern Lake County. So Leesburg, Claremont, Groveland may see that soaking rain. The Villages up to 1 inch, as well as Ocala and Kissimmee, Orlando. And we're looking at the lesser amounts along our coastal spots. So a little over 1/4 inch in Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral, Palm Coast, and nearing 1/2 inch in Melbourne. So here's a look at your 7-day. Again, it's an inconvenient weather day. It will be inconvenient for many of us. Highs in the middle 70s, a 100% coverage for light to moderate rain, heavy in a few locations. Now, tomorrow will be much warmer. I do think temperatures will climb into the lower 80s, and also it's going to stay windy all day today, as well as tomorrow heading into the weekend. So the boating conditions, not the best. We're looking at a small craft advisory, a high rip current risk, as well as a gale watch and gale warning. Now, temperatures will be warmer tomorrow, but then when that cold front exits the area, it's going to stay windy. And look at your Sunday. It's going to feel fantastic. It's going to be pleasant. That cold front is going to clear out all of that moisture. So low humidity values, highs in the lower 70s, and the rest of the work week looking really nice, spring-like, with temperatures in the lower to middle 80s. So not a bad work week ahead. We just have to contend with the rain today as well as tomorrow.
You know what? If that's the worst that we have to deal with, Michelle, that's fine. It's spring, right? So that means next week we'll start to see those flowers blooming, and it'll look all beautiful and colorful in our yards. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it as well. So it's going to be good. I mean, a little bit of rain to contend with today, but I think we'll be all right.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle. Have a wonderful week, and thank you for sticking with us. It's been so fun to wake up with you on the morning show.
Thank you for having me. And I'm sorry again. I said it was a personal problem.
It's okay. It is a personal problem, folks. If you are running on E, and my parents are probably watching, and I used to do this as a teenager, just go ahead and fill your gas. You know you're not going to wake up early and do it. You know.
That's great advice. Great advice.
Thank you so much. We'll see you at noon. All right, so now we want to get over to traffic, because you know when it's a little drip drop on the roadways, it turns into a mess in Central Florida. So let's bring in Trooper Steve. But before we get to traffic, Steve, are you near the back gate? Because I have got to see we have like a little fob that you have to beep, beep to get in, right? For security. And it is covered. The box is covered with some kind of like slugs or caterpillars. It is like covered in them. Covered.
You're gonna make me go drive over there.
Yes, please. And if you are watching from home and you're like a bug enthusiast, I need you to tell me what these things are, because I almost did not make it in this morning because I was too afraid to scan my key card on the box. So Steve is going to wrap around. He's out back, and we do have a gate that goes to like all of our vehicles in the back.
Oh my
Did you see
gosh.
it? Show us.
They're
Show
caterpillars.
us.
They're caterpillars.
Okay. Look, they are just covered. And I'm wondering, because they're kind of fuzzy, so I don't know. I don't know what kind of caterpillars those are, but yeah, just
not ones that I want to touch.
So me this morning, Steve, this was me trying to get in. Because I did not want to get too close to it. Anyways, let's get to traffic now, because
funny.
Obviously wet roads causes a lot of issues for Floridians.
Yeah, and we went about an hour and 15 minutes this morning without any major problems. And then once that wave came through, everyone decided to take their head, open it up right here, take their brain out, and leave it at the house, and then function on the roadways. It's a really interesting thing that happens. It blows my mind. So right now, DOT cam, wet roadways along State Road by 528 and Interstate 400, I-4 out there, heavy construction. So always be careful, please. We had some delays out there from an earlier crash. You're looking westbound at the construction zone there. Troopers are out always within that diverging diamond. So please be careful as you're cruising through that area. So that westbound I-4 crash is going to be clear at Sand Lake, but this one's still hanging out at Sand Lake and John Young Parkway. If you're familiar with this area, it is an overpass if you're headed in the southbound direction. So just be careful as you're cruising through. Some few other ones down in our attractions area 3 within a mile. Osceola Parkway and Poinciana Boulevard, and Kings Heath Road. I hate saying that. And another one at US 192 at Siesta Lago, and you can see some delays there along 192. Again, roadways are slick, so you got to be careful when you're starting to when you're starting to slide through some of these corners. 417 at OBT, another one there. Jumping up in Apopka, 436 at Thompson. Zoom in on the east side. Crystal, I can go for days. Discovery and Ingenuity, go UCF Knights. Be careful out there. But look at this. We swing out here towards 429 the Turnpike. We're seeing some heavy delays southbound from an earlier crash. Your drive times, not the best, not the worst. Claremont, you're good. Seems like our northwestern portions always behave. Marion, Lake County, Howey in the Hills. You guys are currently in the clear. And then Tavares, no problems. Drive times across Central Florida, average. But Crystal, look, people just need to be careful out there this morning while they're on the roads. That nuisance ponding in some of our construction zones, those entrance and exit ramps, we'll see some stuff. We haven't had rain in a while.
Yeah.
We're not, like Michelle said, it's not a severe weather day. It's just inconvenient day because we haven't had this. It's going to last all day. Be careful. And then today's stream, we are talking concealed carry inside of a vehicle. What are the rules? What do you have to do? What don't you have to do? And I will tastefully and tactfully try to explain this at 8:30 over at clickorlando.com, because some would say we are a constitutional carry state, so we want to make sure you're doing that responsibly.
A big topic there, Trooper Steve. Thank you so much. What time are you streaming today?
8:30 this morning, rain or shine, because it's a new car, so there's no holes in here.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Well, you be safe out there, Trooper Steve, and we will see you on patrol at 8:30.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So switching gears a little bit. Speaking of traffic, so we'll stay on that topic for now. But a lot of issues on the roadway, specifically in Orange County. A lot of people complain about it. Well, Orange County mayor is once again trying to make a push for a penny sales tax initiative to get more money to help with some of those infrastructure issues. So he's actually having some town halls, and News 6's Mark Lehman explains how he's trying to try to encourage other people to support his initiative.
If we want to diversify our economy, we have to address all of the quality of life issues, including those related to transit and housing.
Mayor Jerry Demings is making his case for another try at a transportation sales tax in Orange County. During a town hall last night, he said county leaders have a month to decide on placing the referendum on the November ballot. A similar 1-cent tax failed 2 years ago.
What has the county learned from the 2022 experience?
People were expressing their concerns. The county estimates a 1% tax would generate more than $750 million per year.
Show us what's been done, where the money's being spent, and how it's improving things.
If approved, about half the money would fund access to Lynx, Sunrail, and Brightline. Another 45% would go to the county and a smaller portion to the city. Some who attended last night's town hall say many low-income workers spend several hours a day going to and from work because of troubles with public transit.
It's very discouraging for the youth, the parents that are already struggling to make ends meet because of inflation.
So there will be some more town halls. If you want to find out when and where, you can head to our website, clickorlando.com, for some more information on that. All right, now it is Friday, so you know we've got to bring in our photojournalist, Corey Murray. He is the host of Black Men Sundays. Good morning and happy Friday.
Good morning. Happy Friday. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing? Getting up early on Fridays.
I couldn't be better. I'm kind of used to it now. At first it was, energy in the morning, and then around 3, 4 in the afternoon, I'm like, oh man, I'm kind of sleepy, man. But you got up at like 5 o'clock because you've been rehearsing for that 7:30 show. So let's get it. We're talking Black Men Sundays. We're talking about generational wealth, mental health, finance, and business, and we're talking about inflation. Inflation, I'm not gonna lie, inflation has me nervous. I'm sitting here, I'm going to dinner, I'm just getting an appetizer and 2 drinks, $35.
Ooh.
That's an 18% gratuity. I'm like, hold on, really? So I told the wife, I think we're gonna have to start going back to the grocery store, cooking every day, because the Uber is killing me, everything is killing me. So because of all that, I brought in wealth management advisor from Northwestern Mutual, David Smallwood. This brother here, when we were talking about financial literacy for your youth, we're talking about steps to building a financial legacy. We're talking about budgeting and money saving tips, which is a big deal because with this inflation, I'm struggling to save money. So, and then also I'm looking towards my future. So I'm trying to figure out how can I outpace inflation? So I asked that brother that question straight up. Let's roll that soundbite.
We need to be thinking about, we got to throw money 15, 20 years in the future, because that's how we outpace inflation, is by throwing dollars into the future that are in the equities market that over time are going to get a yield that outpaces inflation. If you look at the average inflation over the last 100 years, you're going to get much more yield off of saving money in equities. Because if you look at the stock market, the S&P 500 back to 1928 to present day, it's double digits. It's 10 to 11% yield that you have gotten over the course of that 100 years. Now there's volatility or temporary price movement in there, but over the course of that duration of time, you're going to get a yield that's going to outpace inflation. And so I'm sharing with clients, you've got to be throwing dollars into the future. And the best place to do that is if you're employed is inside of a qualified plan through your employer, 401k, 403b, 457, et cetera.
Definitely. And one thing about Black Men Sundays, I had to ask him about, like, what's his advice to clients? Like, if I was one of his clients, I was trying to get a little freebie right there. But I said, okay, what's your advice for clients that's trying to build a financial legacy through this inflation? Let's roll that.
They've got three segments of their financial pictures, what I call home run, aggressive, and safe. So home run is your business opportunities, your real estate, your small business, your entrepreneurship. I'm all for the home run opportunity because that's going to be what's going to end up being your most significant return is going to be with your home run opportunity. Then the aggressive lives in the middle. That's market facing money. That's saving inside of in a mutual fund account, saving in retirement account, 529 accounts for kids, dollar cost averaging and saving into investments. That's that aggressive money. Then safe money is money that's not in the market on the roller coaster, and that's money that's in a couple of places. It's cash inside of the bank, so that's safe money. The upside of that is it's liquid and easily accessible. The downside of that is that it's yielding next to nothing, and the growth on it is taxable. So combination of low yield and taxable growth is not a great place to have dollars deployed for the long term. So partly how I help people think about that safe money is inside of life insurance, because it grows at tax deferred at a dividend rate versus a bank rate, and it creates a death benefit that's promises to be the last asset on your balance sheet. And so those three segments, that home run, aggressive, and safe, We got to focus on all of those. Where folks get in trouble is they just focus on one or two and not all three.
Definitely. And I've had that problem focusing on one a little too much, you know. And also, I asked him one last question. I feel like Kathy's about to cut me off. So let me go and
No,
get
you're
this last
good.
one
You're
off real
good.
quick. Oh, I'm good. Okay. Because, so anyway, so one other question that I wanted to know is, in our communities,
Mm-hmm.
brothers, we getting money. We living pretty good out here. But I'm like, who do we need to be connected with in our community that we're overlooking? He said, Chamber of Commerce. So you know who I thought of? I said, I know a guy that was the Small Business Advocate of the Year for the
Mm-hmm.
African American Chamber of Commerce. I said, Crystal hooked me up with him. So I want to shout out my brother because I feel like Ali Braswell Jr., I'm a mentor, but I'm going to need you to mentor me because I need to get on that. So
And
again, shout
Allie's a
out to you,
very
Crystal.
well-known, community leader. Just came out with a book. He is my frat brother. He's Phi Beta Sigma. I'm a Zeta. So I've known him for many years, and he's done great things throughout the community. So I'm glad I was able to connect you all. So if you want to listen to this, it was a lot of information that Corey just spilled on us there. You can head out. You can check out Black Men Sundays anywhere that you get your podcast. And of course, clickorlando.com/Black Men Sundays. You can also go back and see some of the prior episodes that Corey has done. And let me tell you, he is talking to some really interesting folks about things that anybody can do to use in their lives to help with finance, to help with wealth, to help, mental health, things like topics like that. You could listen to it when you're on the drive to work, maybe heading home for work. So a really good resource there. Thank you so much, Corey.
Definitely. And this is episode 105. Can you believe we're at 105
105.
episodes?
Wow. I can't
So there's
believe
no
it.
excuse. There's no excuse. If you're not getting money, if you don't own any property, if you don't know what an annuity is, if you don't know how to invest, we have 105. That's 105 hours of straight information. So
And
let's
it's
get it.
free.
Black Men
And it's
Sunday.
all free,
Let's
right?
go. Oh yeah, it's 100% free. Let's get it, because like I said, I'm trying to spread the wealth. A lot of brothers at the top like to compete. I said, no, we need to collaborate. It's Black Men Sunday, so I'm collaborating with brothers at the top, C-suite executives. I mean, come on, I done had you on the show. I done had your father on the show. I done had your
Yes.
husband on the
Yes.
show. We Black Men Sunday up over here. Let's get it. Happy
All right.
Friday.
Thank you so much, Corey. Happy Friday. I'll see you at work soon. All right, so big news. And if you are a big basketball fan, college basketball, March Madness underway right now. So the DeLand Stetson Hatters made it to the big dance for the first time, and they will have their first game today versus the number 1 seed, UConn. Now, UConn did win last year, so they're trying to, get their second win for the NCAA tournament here at the big dance. But anything can happen. And you know why I say that? Because I was watching the games last night, the first round for the NCAA tournament. And Oakland, seed 14, upset Kansas, seed 3 in the first round. So some brackets, including mine, already busted after this first game. So anything could happen. Don't forget, we're going to bring you that game live on News 6 WKMG. Tip-off is set for 2:45, and we are all rooting for the Hatters. Such an amazing and exciting time for them. They had this huge event as a send-off, while those basketball players are heading onto the bus so they can head out. But they are in Brooklyn for that game today. You can catch it on News 6 at 2:45. So I wish them the best of luck, and I'm just excited to see what will happen, but we're really proud of them. All right, moving on to another really cool story. And if you're into like real estate and history, this is the story for you, because in just minutes, folks will be able to go inside Thomas Edison's son's former summer home for an estate sale. So it's a very rare opportunity. This home is located at 1554 Harris Circle. Very beautiful house there. The Winter Park home was the home of Thomas Edison's youngest son, Theodore. They called him Ted. Him and his wife stayed there for over 40 years. They used it as their summer home when they would come down and visit. So it was built in 1887. There's a lot of history behind it. It's been updated over the years, but there's some original things, like the flooring is still intact. There's some original furniture that's still there, and there's several items up for sale. So you could see right here in this video, this is our article on clickorlando.com. There's some stained glass. If you scroll up, there's a table that's for sale. And what's really interesting above that, I saw on the website that there's this really vintage mixer. Okay, this is a Sunbeam Mix Master. And they came out with these like in the 30s. So, we have the mixers now that are very high tech and everything like that. So if you're looking for, maybe some antiques, this might be the place for you. But let me tell you, there are some folks that have been out there probably waiting for this estate sale to begin. So it goes throughout the weekend. It starts today from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. And then it'll be open again tomorrow for folks to come by from 8 to 2. They do have a sign-up sheet that they set out at 7:45. So you can go out and check out all the cool pictures, paintings, furniture. Maybe if you just want to get a tour of the home, you don't have to buy anything. The house is worth $1.2 million. It's been on the market for a couple of years, now under contract. So I'm excited to see who buys it. And it's kind of fun to get a look inside some historical homes throughout Central Florida and Winter Park. And of course, we can't end this show without talking about how we're hitting the road. Last month we were at East Orange County. Coming up will be in Sanford. So the 32771 zip code, we are coming to you. If you live there, we want to know what's special about your community. We want to know where you like to hang out. We want to know what the challenges are. How can we help you get results? Just head to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad. Send us a message, and we will highlight that. We are using all of our franchises, all of our reporters to cover every aspect of this area because that's what you all say you want us to do. So, of course, we're going to take your feedback and get out in the community and do some stories up in Sanford. And we will be going throughout Central Florida through the rest of the year as well. So thank you so much for joining us for Breakfast with Bridgett. I'm Crystal Moyer filling in. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget, we have Weatherwise with Jonathan Kagas following this show at 8 o'clock, 8:30. Trooper Steve on patrol. We'll see you later. Thank you for joining us.